Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Motivation Weekly. I'm Dave Luer, and welcome to the 11th lesson of the Law of Success series. Look, we are taking this amazing book written by Napoleon Hill back in 1925, and each week I'm extracting one lesson and modernizing it and bringing it to you so that you can live a better life. Again, welcome to Motivation Weekly. This is Success Lesson 11, and today we are talking about concentration. This is a big one. So each one of these lessons builds on the one that's preceding it, right? So I would really encourage you to watch today's program all the way through. But if you haven't seen the other ones, go back and check them out. You'll get a lot of information out of them. And you can go to the Dave Luer YouTube channel, and every one of the lessons is already in there. So last week we talked about accurate thinking about the right things and to stop thinking about useless facts and gossip and the ways that that can benefit you in your life. Today, we are going to take thinking to the next level, ladies and gentlemen. There is incredible power, much like the concentrated power of a laser when light is concentrated, when you can stay focused on the important task at hand. See how that works? This, again, is something that most people never even think about. They think they're stuck with the level of concentration that they were born with. That's just not so. Using our brain is very much a learned skill which you can practice and improve on. Albert Einstein said, "It's not that I'm so smart," and he was pretty smart, "it's just that I stay with problems longer." So even Albert Einstein says that it's not about intelligence as much as it is just concentrating, right? So you too can be like Albert Einstein if you will listen to today's lesson. Napoleon Hill indicated that this lesson is what he considers a lesson that's in a keystone position of all of the 15 laws of success, because the psychological law in which it is based is of vital importance to every of the other lessons. We must be able to concentrate. Concentration, therefore, is the act of focusing the mind upon a given desire until the ways and means for its realization have been worked out and successfully put into operation. So there are two laws that enter into the act of concentrating the mind. And the first one is the law of autosuggestion. Perhaps you've heard me discuss this in some previous lessons. It's the act of positive self-talk, or purposefully feeding the mind with suggestions and visualizations that will lead to your desired outcome or definite purpose, whatever that may be. And the second one is the law of habit. And we're going to talk about that here in a moment quite a bit. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to take another step into your limitless potential? Okay, habit is when you repeat a behavior so long that it becomes crystallized into your subconscious mind. So it's kind of like driving a car. Do you remember back when you first learned to drive, you had to think about every moment when you shifted and when you had to touch on the brakes, and you had to think about each one of those things. And now you can drive to work and not even remember the trip. I mean, it's so deeply ingrained in your subconscious mind that you're just basically on autopilot. So most people create habits without giving the matter a lot of thought until it becomes too painful if it's a bad habit. So overeating, cigarette smoking, picking your nose, whatever your habit might be, right? So what's cool though is when you realize and become fully aware that you can build habits on purpose that better serve you. It's kind of actually exciting, isn't it? Right? You can build habits that will propel you where you want to go in life. So it has been said by philosophers that men are the creatures of habit. This is so true. So why would we not want to build habits that enrich our lives instead of building habits which destroy it? Like it or not, the choice is yours, my friend. So as it relates to today's lesson, we can proactively create a habit of better concentration to massively and quickly move us towards a life that we desire, right? So even though you can obtain positive results immediately by applying today's lesson to obtain the incredible benefits of what I'm talking about today in a big way, it requires practice, practice, and yes, more practice. Okay. Back in school, I really struggled. In fact, I hated school, and I often felt like I was dumber than the other kids. Reading and comprehension, or even memorizing what the teacher was trying to teach me, was very, very difficult for me, right? My report cards commonly said, David does not apply himself, right? So in retrospect, I think that meant that they didn't necessarily think I was dumb, but just didn't apply myself to internalize the information that I was being taught. But I didn't know how. Nobody taught me that. So it now makes me wonder, and frankly, even a little angry, why in schools they don't teach students how to better use their minds. I could have benefited from that information, the information that I'm teaching today, which has been available ever since this book came out back in the early 20s, right? So listen, folks, if you're worried that you were never blessed with the skill of concentration, you may be happy or disappointed if, in case you've used this as an excuse for your life of mediocrity, to now learn that concentration is indeed a skill which can be learned and improved through practice. Yep. Sorry, folks, there's no more excuses here. So to create a new habit, and if those of you that are watching this should probably write this down. There are 5 steps. And the first one is you must first make a firm, committed decision that the old disempowering habit that you are replacing is going to be no longer acceptable in your life. Just know that you will always get what you tolerate. Let me say that again. You will always get what you tolerate in your life. Okay. So enter into this agreement to build a better habit with yourself with integrity and enthusiasm all the while. Secondly, right, keeping focused on the positive outcomes that you seek. Keep constant reminders around you at all times. Vision boards. I use like screensavers on my computer. Auto suggestion, telling yourself the things that, feeding your mind with the good stuff and so on. Which brings me to number 3. You need to create a well-worn path, right? And you create this by repeating the new habit as often as possible. This is practice, right? The more you practice the new habit, the quicker your new path will be created, right? It's like that driving a car example. Soon you will be able to do it without even thinking about it. Now, number 4, you must resist the temptation to travel down the old path, right? Each time you resist and successfully avoid the old behavior, the old disempowering behavior, you will be exponentially strengthening your new habit, right? Which brings us to number 5. So like the new dirt road pathway, we are actually creating a real pathway in our brains. Yep, this is science, folks. As new habits are being formed, your brain is creating neural pathways. Each time that you repeat a specific habit, good or bad, right, your new neural pathway is becoming stronger and stronger, much like the dirt pathway is becoming deeper and deeper. So in order for you to be successful building better habits, we must also understand the effects of the environment, the things that are around us, right? An environment, as it relates to this lesson, is best described as the people that we associate with, the books that we read, the social media and TV that we digest, the community that we live, and even the natural landscape of where we live. Also, and just as important to know, is that our environment is often conditioned by our beliefs, religions, and intellectual training that we have received as a child, right? So much of who we are was in place when we were just a little child. Sometimes you need to bust some of those old beliefs. So in order for you to build awesome, empowering habits, you must be aware of your environment and change it as necessary, right? So become aware of your environment, because sometimes we've been in it so long that it becomes invisible to us. It's like they say, the fish is the last one to know it's in water. If your environment is not in alignment with your goals and your definite purpose in life, friggin' change it, man. You really can envision an environment that is suitable for you. Then set out and create it. This is the exciting truth. And it's one that I'm always pursuing, right? With all five senses continually feeding information from your environment, you can't really expect to experience success when you are in the wrong environment, can you? Just being real here, folks. So what's my advice? My advice is hang out with inspiring people, read good books, wear nice clothes that make you feel good about yourself, be the successful person that you want to become now. Okay. And let's have a little fun here, shall we? Napoleon Hill calls this the magic key to success. Sounds like something we could all use, right? This key will unlock the door to riches. It'll unlock the doors to fame, if that's what you really want. It'll unlock the door to better health and happiness. I mean, who couldn't use a key like this, right? The very same key was used by Carnegie, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, probably also the likes of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, right? So what is this magic key? Do you really want to know? It's one word: concentration. Concentration. The ability through fixed habit and practice to keep your mind on one subject until you have thoroughly familiarized yourself with the subject and mastered it. To be able to focus on a problem until it is solved. Like Edison, who failed over 10,000 times to create the incandescent light bulb, learning from each failure without losing concentration. You may have noticed that I didn't say the magic key is our ability to multitask, right? Multitasking is actually the opposite of concentration. Aha! Concentration, as opposed to distraction, allows you to control your thoughts and direct your thoughts towards your definite purpose, whatever that may be. So there are two other important factors that enter into successful combination. Would you like to know what they are? Of course you would. Ambition and desire. Without ambition and desire to pursue something, it becomes very difficult to place sustained concentration on the task. Without a burning desire towards your definite purpose, the magic key is worthless. This is the exact reason why you hear me talk so often about the importance of setting and creating goals and a compelling future, getting clear on your goals and what you want in life. Okay, so I know there's a lot of information here. This is important stuff. So I want to read something that Napoleon wrote here way back when, because I think this is important. He says to take out a plain sheet of paper, ordinary letter size, and write on it the following, right? So you would replace this example with something that's relative to you and your mission. I am going to become a powerful public speaker because this will enable me to render the world service that is needed, and because it will yield me a financial return that will provide me with the necessary material things of life. I will concentrate my mind upon this desire for 10 minutes daily, just before retiring at night and just after arising in the morning. For the purpose of determining just how I shall proceed to transform it into reality. I know that I can become a powerful and magnetic speaker. Therefore, I will permit nothing to interfere with my doing so, right? And then you sign this contract with yourself. Pretty cool, right? And this is actually something that I've done before and still do, right? You want to remind yourself and keep this compelling vision out in front of you all of the time. So prior to engaging in the work that requires your concentration, do these things. Read a pledge, just like the one I just shared. Use visualization. Close your eyes and picture life 5, 10, 20 years from now, whatever, right? Picture the home that you have afforded yourself through the service of others, your dream car, a favorite vacation spot or activity. Maybe you want to go scuba diving with me in Fiji one of these days, right? See and visualize your bank account with a couple extra zeros on it, right? Envision the quality of the relationships, family, and friends that you will have. You must also visualize yourself seeing yourself, and this is really important. You must see yourself performing the service that will create this abundance in your life, right? So, like the public speaker example from the book, which is also something that I do, right? You see yourself on stage, feel the heat from the stage lights, see the giant audience in front of you smiling while they're on the edge of their seat, hanging on your every word. Feels good, doesn't it? As we talked about in the previous lessons, when you make a habit of visualizing your compelling future, you also activate the law of attraction. So the things that you visualize begin coming into your life. Double bonus, yay! Finally, you must quit focusing on the past, ladies and gentlemen. You must quit focusing on the past. Your yesterdays will never return. Visualize on your future and concentrate in the present moment so you can create a life of your choosing. You can do it if you believe you can. You are now, ladies and gentlemen, in possession of the magic key. How does it feel? So to wrap up this lesson, I want to tell you that the world has become increasingly difficult to concentrate in. You know that, I know that. Distractions are everywhere. So I'm going to give you a couple of practical tips that you can take away, some things that you can put to use right away. So first of all, I plan my day every day. I want to set intention for what I want to do. I don't let the world drag me around where it wants to go. I set intention, and yes, I get distracted sometimes, but I'm always able to come back to it because I have a to-do list, right, that is constantly keeping me in alignment with my long-term goals. This has made such a huge difference in my life. I can't even hardly explain it, right? Another thing that I do is I leave my email off until after I've planned my day in the morning. I turn off email and my phone while working on important projects. If something is unimportant, guess what? It doesn't get on my list. I close the damn door when I'm working on an important project. You know, like in the old movies, Shirley, hold my calls, right? You need to do that too. When you're working on your business or when you're working on your goals, you must make time and put it right into your calendar, because once it's on your schedule, it'll get done. So when future tasks continually pop up in your mind, right, they're distracting, right? So write them down in your calendar out in the future so that you don't need to worry about it or think about it today, right? So when I have something pop up in my mind and I'm trying to concentrate on a project, I will get my calendar out and I'll write it for next Tuesday or whatever, and I'll worry about it then. How cool is that? Learn how to use your mind. I use an app called Calm. Okay, it's a meditation app. So if you think that meditation is only for monks, you'd be wrong. Meditation is quite literally learning and practicing how to direct and focus your mind where you want it, right? And you just thought it was some geeky thing, that monks do and hippies. I don't know, right? All right. Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being excellent with me today. Be sure to leave a comment. Also, if you haven't done so already, go over to my YouTube channel, Dave Luer YouTube channel, subscribe and watch motivation anytime you can use it. We will see you all next Monday for lesson 12 on the topic of tolerance. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys very much.